Hi there, you're watching the Weather Network. My name is Kim MacDonald. Glad to have you here. First weekend of October almost upon us. Before we get there, we have to get through Friday. Here are our current systems. So we've got this area of low pressure progressing towards the Great Lakes. This is going to be a messy, wet, windy system. To the north, some snow anticipated. High pressure in the east for Newfoundland. You're not going to see any real rain until about Sunday. Let's take a look at Birchie Bay. Digit highs around 9 degrees. We are going to see temperatures gradually warm up over the weekend, though, so it's not going to stay as cool as it was on Thursday. There's our frost advisory. Northern areas of New Brunswick. It seems night after night you have this concern. Edmundston is in the advisory. Same thing for Western Restigouche. Grand Falls is in there as well. Temperatures on Friday morning look like this. So the farther north you go, the cooler it is. No big surprise. Lots of sunshine, though, to start the day. That's okay. St. John's at 6, Sydney at 11, and we've got overcast skies anticipated for Halifax, and that's because the system is offshore, and it keeps just kind of throwing some cloud cover your way. So we're not looking at exactly a sunny afternoon on Friday, but much of that rain that we had anticipated seems to want to stay offshore. That high pressure is strong enough to keep it at bay for at least a little while longer. Okay, let's move into Ontario. Around between 4 and 5 in the afternoon, and that allowed temperatures to rise. Daytime highs in Toronto around 20 degrees as expected. This, I know it's hard to see it. This is a fog advisory, so it is including much of southern Ontario, all around the Golden Horseshoe. As a matter of fact, it keeps on going. So St. Catharines is in this as well. Grimsby and the northern Niagara region expect dense patchy fog. If you are doing some driving, keep that in mind. It can get a little bit tricky on the roadways, obviously, with that fog. Friday morning looks like this. Another mild night, temperature 16, 17 degrees. It tends to get much cooler when the skies are clear at night. So if it's cloudy or foggy, it'll be a little bit milder. That's how it goes. Northern Ontario to 15 degrees in North Bay. We do have a rainfall warning in place. We're talking about as much as 75 millimeters of rain for places along the eastern shoreline of Lake Superior, and then fog advisory as well across the north. So Wawa's in there, Nipigon, fog for the overnight and into the morning hours. So same kind of thing as what's happening in southern Ontario usually happens around the lakes. We get this moisture in the fog, and that could become problematic. Okay, Friday morning looks like this. It's going to be a wet one. We're looking at 50 to 80 millimeters. We'll talk about this in more detail coming. Hi there, you're watching the Weather Network. It's been a bit of a gray week across southern Ontario. We had so much sunshine and then it all came to an end. So Thursday, not a lot different. We did have some cloud cover for much of the day, or it was foggy, but there were certainly some breaks, and enough breaks back up to seasonally mild. Hamilton, with that sunshine that came in around between 4:30 and 5, bumped up to 21.7. Pearson Airport, 20 degrees. Mount Forest, 21.3. So not a bad day, not a bad day. It wasn't raining or anything. The weekend's going to be a little dicey, and we are going to see a plummet in temperatures. There's our fog advisory for the same area. So this is through the overnight hours all around the Golden Horseshoe. We are looking at dense fog, not everywhere, but there will be patchy dense fog, so be careful on the roads. Okay, I mentioned a system that's moving in. Noseworthy and Robinson. Yeah, it's not going to be pleasant, and temperatures are really going to drop. We've had some warm weather. We're going to get into the humidity for Friday. So Friday morning, these are your temperatures. These are normal daytime highs, 16, 17 degrees to start the day. And then through the afternoon, temperatures will be in the low 20s, but the humidex readings will be closer to 30. And there's also the risk of thunderstorms with this system as it moves in. So non-severe in nature. We're not talking about anything you have to be too concerned about, but there could be some thunder and lightning out there on Friday. And here comes the low. So we can see the area of low pressure, the center of the low is up towards Superior, the cold front moving through the south. And we're looking at those winds really picking up by midday around the GTA, and then there's the rain. So it's swirling around and making its way back into northern Ontario. This will be snow for some areas through the overnight hours Friday, and then again overnight on Saturday. But through the day, it's all rain. So we're not talking about big accumulating snow, maybe a centimeter or two, but it'll likely melt. And there's that 50 to 80 millimeters that Mark was alluding to. So some heavy rain moving in for the weekend. Okay, coming up, we know it's hard to keep anyone's attention for 80 whole seconds. So we're now doing this segment in 60. At first I thought maybe if we just sped up the videos, we could get more in. But my team had a meeting and decided that's not the way to go. Okay, fine, but I didn't want to be a sheep, just going with the crowd like these guys. I wanted to be the tenacious salmon, swimming against the current. But I think I ended up more being this duck who wandered into the goat's pen and was mostly ignored. I was told condensing the segment meant quality over quantity. That means more videos of Nathan Coleman, brave Nova Scotia women, and whatever's happening here would take the place of lone fishermen and wind turbines. We really did have some great stuff this week, like the men in heels for a good cause in Edmonton, the adorable spoiled dogs in St. Jacobs, this really strange zombie bride and groom, and a game that looks way more fun than Trivial Pursuit if you are trapped inside a bubble. But what if they decide this segment is still too long? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Hi there, you're watching the Weather Network. A significant fall storm moving into the Great Lakes region starting Friday and lingering around for much of the weekend. So there are a couple of things we need to be concerned about. There are thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, and some very strong winds anticipated over a large area. Much of the province will be affected by this particular storm. We will have live coverage during the storm, plus we will be live streaming on the web as of 3 p.m. You can probably catch that on your mobile as well. So if you're thinking, well, I'm at work and how am I supposed to know how bad it is when I'm about to leave? Yeah, you can always check it on our website, theweathernetwork.com, as of 3 p.m. live stream. Okay, so here we go. There's our risk for non-severe thunderstorms through Friday through the north. Manitoulin Island, Elliott Lake is in there. We're looking at as much as 75 millimeters. Our forecasters say anywhere between 50 and 80 millimeters with this low pressure system because it's going to be lingering for so long. I'll show you in just a sec. And this is a fog advisory along the shores of Superior. So that's happening now and through the early morning hours. So here's the low. It is moving up from Texas. The center of the low moves northward more so than it moves eastward. We can see it trying to progress east a little bit, but there's high pressure that is stopping it, and then it retrogrades back. And as a result, we're seeing the heaviest rainfall just around northern areas of Ontario. So in this red color, that's the 50 to 80 millimeters. 15 to 30 millimeters as we head into eastern Ontario, southwestern Ontario, less than 15. But those numbers will not count if you get a thunderstorm. And of course, the heavier downpours within the thunderstorm. So then those numbers would change and be a little bit higher. The winds gusting to close to 75 kilometers per hour, and that will be ahead of the system for the most part. So early in the day, mid-morning to early afternoon. Elliott Lake, this is your forecast. Temperatures dropping to 9 by Saturday, 7 by Sunday. So you can see through Cottage Country as well, temperatures taking a nosedive as we get to Sunday, 8 degrees. That's about it. Okay, let's head over to Atlantic Canada. With us, if you come from a big city or a tiny little community, show us your weather. Let's see what you got, and we'll show it here on the Weather Network, perhaps, or on our website, theweathernetwork.com. That's where you can upload your videos. We love them, love them, love them. Okay, Friday afternoon, this is what it looks like. Temperatures back to the double digits in St. John's after your single-digit highs. And here we go. We've got high pressure in place through much of the weekend until Sunday. Wow, that looks nice. The harbor, calm. I saw a little bit of waving with that flag, but not a lot. We do have a system that's offshore. Hi, I'm Kim MacDonald. Make our introductions. But for the most part, it's not going to bring a whole lot of rain into Nova Scotia. We've been watching this. The models kept indicating that the system was moving in towards the weekend, but it's really staying offshore. So we will see a little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of rain, but nothing heavy at all. This low, yeah, it just doesn't have the oomph. It doesn't have the strength to push up against that high pressure. Because of high pressure, though, clear skies through the overnight, and once again in northern areas of New Brunswick, we have a frost advisory. And I'm sure after 3 nights, your plants are covered, right? Hopefully. Okay, Friday morning temperatures look like this. Not bad. St. John 10, Charlottetown 10, sunshine. And because of that system offshore, you've got more cloud cover for Halifax. So that's why you're under the overcast skies and will remain there through Friday afternoon as well. 10 degrees in St. John's after a very chilly day on Thursday. You're going to gradually see temperatures warm. Okay, let's go into southern Ontario. It's time to hit the farm, get that perfect pumpkin. Have you done that yet? This is in Milton. Fun, fun, fun. And look at that cookie. That looks good. Now I want to go to the farm. Yeah, it's always fun to pick out a pumpkin at a farm, isn't it? And especially if you have kids and they can do it themselves. Okay, so Friday morning, temperatures will be quite mild. It's going to get windy. So we've got a big storm. It's a significant storm moving in. The threat of thunderstorms is there, non-severe for the most part, but it's rain and wind that we're most concerned about, with rainfall warnings in northern areas of Ontario. So does the weather get you down? You're not alone. Here's Kasia with the story.